Good afternoon and welcome to Midday Prime. I'm Amritpal Singh. Over the next 1 hour, we bring you all the stories and updates from India and the world. And we'll update you about the happenings in the world of business and sports, and we'll get you some interesting stories that are making the headlines. But let's take a look at the big news happening at this hour. Prime Minister Narendra Modi meeting leading economists at Niti Aayog today. Discussion to focus on state of economy. Government takes 16 envoys based in New Delhi to the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir. Envoys of countries taken to see firsthand the efforts being made by the government to bring the situation to normal in Jammu and Kashmir. Big success for the Mumbai Police Crime Branch. Fugitive gangster Ejaz Lakdawala arrested in Patna. In Mumbai alone, 25 cases are registered against Lakdawala. US President Donald Trump says the United States did not suffer any casualty in Tehran's attacks in Iraq. In his televised address, Trump warns that Iran will never be allowed to acquire nuclear weapons. Share markets across the world breathe a sigh of relief after de-escalation of tension in the Persian Gulf. Sensex opens about 500 points higher, while Nifty to record significant jump in opening trade. Well, fresh spell of snowfall in Himachal Pradesh and Uttarakhand triggers cold wave in northern India. Several cities experience rainfall. And in the world of sports, Indian star shuttlers Saina Nehwal and PV Sindhu advance to the quarterfinals of the Malaysia Masters Badminton Tournament, while HS Pranoy advances to the second round. Kidabi Srikanth crashes out in the first round. All arrangements in place for Khelo India Youth Games beginning in Guwahati in Assam from tomorrow. Around 6,800 athletes will compete in the third edition of the Games. So those were the headlines we're tracking at this hour. A big story coming in from Jammu and Kashmir. Envoys from 16 countries, including US Ambassador to India, Kenneth Juster, arrived in Srinagar this morning on a two-day visit to Jammu and Kashmir. The Delhi-based envoys arrived by a special chartered flight at Srinagar's technical airport, where top officials from the newly carved-out Union Territory received them. Later in the day, they will be going to Jammu, the winter capital of the newly created Union Territory. They will meet Lieutenant Governor G.C. Murmu as well as civil society members. Besides the United States, the delegation includes diplomats from Bangladesh, Vietnam, Norway, Maldives, South Korea, Morocco and Nigeria, among others. Basically, these are countries from Latin America, Asia and Africa. And those were visuals of this morning when the envoys arrived in Kashmir. Let's go across to my colleague A.V. Singh, Ajay Vikram Singh, who joins me from Srinagar. Ajay Vikram, first of all, 16 envoys, including the US Ambassador to India, Kenneth Juster, in Srinagar. I understand they're going around the city, getting a feel of. They took a ride of the Shikara at the Dal Lake. They'll be interacting with the government, they'll be interacting with civil society, journalists, various cross-section of people. What are you hearing? What is their program for the rest of the day today?
जी बिल्कुल अमृत, अभी होटल ललित में अलग अलग ग्रुप्स के लोग उनसे मुलाकात कर रहे हैं। तकरीबन 11:30 बजे वो होटल ललित में आ गए थे और अब 2 बज रहा है। जो ग्रुप्स हैं वो उनसे जाकर मिल रहे हैं और जो ये डेलीगेशन है इनसे मिलने के बाद यहाँ के कुछ टूरिस्ट प्लेसेस हैं वहाँ पर जाएगा और कुछ जो लोग हैं सिविल सोसाइटी के लोग जो बाहर हैं उनसे मुलाकात करेगा और उसके बाद जम्मू जाने का कार्यक्रम है। जम्मू में एलजी से मुलाकात के बाद जो डेवलपमेंट का जो काम होना है किस तरह से उसको और आगे बढ़ा रहे हैं उन सब चीज़ों पर बातचीत हो सकती है। सबसे अहम बात यह है कि कुछ दिनों बाद यहाँ पर इन्वेस्टर समिट होने वाली है, इस लिहाज से इस विजिट के काफ़ी मायने हैं। दो मायने हैं, एक मायने यहाँ के हालात का की जो जानकारी है वो वैश्विक परिदृश्य पर भी ज़मीनी हकीकत जो है वो पहुँचनी चाहिए। सरकार की ये मंशा है और उस लिहाज से इसको देखा जा रहा है। और निश्चित तौर पर अंतर्राष्ट्रीय स्तर पर एक इमेज के तौर पर भारत की जो कुछ ऐसे सेक्शन में जो ऐसी बातें की जा रही थी कश्मीर को लेकर वो क्लियर होंगी, वो सामने आएंगी। दूसरी बात, राष्ट्रीय स्तर पर भी इसका असर पड़ने वाला है, क्योंकि ये जो विजिट है जो जब विदेश के लोग यहाँ पर आ रहे हैं वो यहाँ पर लोगों से मिल रहे हैं, बातचीत कर रहे हैं, तो कोई भी ऐसा नहीं है जिसको यहाँ पर आने से रोका गया हो। हर कोई यहाँ पर आ सकता है, हर कोई यहाँ पर घूम फिर सकता है, अपनी बातें कर सकता है, अपने व्यापार बढ़ा सकता है। उस लिहाज से ये अगला स्टेप जम्मू कश्मीर के लिहाज से माना जा रहा है, क्योंकि ये ऐसी पहली विजिट मानी जाएगी अंतर्राष्ट्रीय स्तर के डेलीगेशन की जिसको सरकार खुद फैसिलिटेट कर रही है। तो उस लिहाज से काफ़ी अहमियत है इस मीटिंग की। और जब एलजी से मीटिंग होगी तो उसके बाद डेवलपमेंट का प्रोसेस किस तरह से आगे बढ़ना है, जो ये देश है वो किस तरह से भारत के खासतौर से जम्मू कश्मीर के डेवलपमेंट में अपना काम करेंगे, इन सब चीज़ों पर कल बातचीत होगी। उसकी और जो बातें हैं वो सामने आएंगी। अभी इसके बाद बादामी बाग जाने वाला है डेलीगेशन, उसके बाद टूरिस्ट प्लेसेस पर वो जाने वाले हैं। जी
अजय, पाकिस्तान से एक प्रोपेगेंडा चलता है जो उनकी फेक न्यूज़ फैक्ट्री है कि बहुत बड़ा क्लैंप डाउन है, फौज वहाँ है, सिक्योरिटी फोर्सेस हैं, लोग घरों से नहीं निकल पा रहे, हर घर के बाहर बंदूक लेके एक सिक्योरिटी पर्सनल खड़े हैं, वो तशद्दुद कर रहे हैं। इस तरह के मुजाहरे वो तमाम जो इंटरनेशनल कैपिटल्स हैं, जेनीवा में, लंदन में, वाशिंगटन डीसी में करते हैं। क्या उस फेक प्रोपेगेंडा को तोड़ने में मदद मिलेगी जब ये 16 मुल्कों के एम्बेसडर्स खुद जाके डल लेक पे वॉक लेंगे, जाके लोगों से मिलेंगे, जानेंगे कि हकायक है क्या वहाँ के?
जी बिल्कुल अमृत, ये जो विजिट है ये पाकिस्तान का जो फेक नैरेटिव खड़ा किया गया है उसका भी एक बहुत बड़ा जवाब होगा। और इस डेलीगेशन में अमेरिका के राजदूत भी है, तो उस लिहाज से उसकी अहमियत और भी ज़्यादा है। और ये जो नेता हैं, इन नेताओं के अपने अपने जैसा कि हम लोग जानते हैं कि अफ्रीकन कंट्रीज से भी हैं, जो लैटिन अमेरिकन कंट्रीज हैं वहाँ से भी हैं, एशिया के भी हैं, तो अलग अलग इलाकों से हैं। वो जब जाएंगे तो इंटरनेशनल लेवल पर बातें होंगी। पाकिस्तान तो हमेशा से इस बात की कोशिश करता रहा है और आज भी इस बात की कोशिश में लगातार लगा हुआ है। लेकिन आज की ये जो विजिट है, और जैसा कि मैंने बताया कि ये अंतर्राष्ट्रीय स्तर पर पहला ऐसा कोई डेलीगेशन होगा जिसको भारत सरकार फैसिलिटेट कर रही है, उस लिहाज से काफ़ी अहमियत है। पाकिस्तान को तो जवाब बहुत पहले ही मिल चुका है, कई स्तर पर मिल चुका है, कई मोर्चों पर मिल चुका है, यूएन में भी मिल चुका है। लेकिन ये जो डेलीगेशन ये ज़मीनी हकीकत को लोगों के सामने लेकर आएगा। और अमृतपाल, एक बात ये भी मैं इसमें जोड़ना चाहूँगा, जो बातें आपने कही कि एक जो नैरेटिव है कि हर जगह फौज खड़ी है, हर जगह फौज संगीनों के साथ खड़ी है, ऐसा जो दृश्य है वो खुद अपनी आंखों से देखेंगे कि यहाँ जो फौज है वो यहाँ के लोगों की सिक्योरिटी के लिए है, यहाँ के माहौल को बनाए रखने के लिए है। दूसरी बात यह है कि सरकार ने 370 को हटाने के बाद बहुत ही तरीके से, रणनीतिक तरीके से यहाँ के लोगों की बेहतरी के लिए किस तरह से स्टेप वाइज आगे बढ़ना है, वो उसके तौर पर भी इसको देखा जा सकता है। क्योंकि इस बात के भी सवाल उठाए जा रहे थे कि जो कुछ नेता है जो नज़रबंद हैं, उनको क्यों नज़रबंद, उसका जवाब ये है। और दूरदर्शन के जरिए भी इस बात को जानना ज़रूरी है। मैं बताना चाहूँगा कि लोग इस बात से, जनता पूरी तरह से यहाँ पर अपना काम कर रही है, खुश है, उनको कोई दिक्कत नहीं है, शांति का पूरा माहौल है। आए दिन जो पत्थरबाजी की बातें आती थी वो सब पूरी तरह से खत्म हो चुकी हैं। आखिर क्यों खत्म हुई हैं? क्योंकि इसको बढ़ाने वाले, इसको लोगों को प्रोवोक करने वाले जो लोग हैं वो नजरबंद हैं। तो ये निश्चित तौर पर ये भी एक स्ट्रेटजी का पार्ट था और वो उसका असर देखने को मिल रहा है। लोग, पब्लिक इनके साथ नहीं थी, ये भी साफ तौर पर समझ में आ गया। जनता पूरी तरह से शांति चाहती है, अपनी तरक्की चाहती है। यहाँ के नौजवान चाहते हैं कि भारत सरकार ने इनके साथ जो वायदे किए थे वो पूरे होने चाहिए, विकास का काम होना चाहिए। और वो धीरे धीरे जब सामने आ रहा है तो लोग उन बातों पर पूरी तरह से यकीन कर रहे हैं और जनता हर उस स्टेप के साथ है जो उनकी तरक्की और बेहतरी के लिए किया जा रहा है।
16 देशों के डिप्लोमेट्स, एम्बेसडर्स शहर में हैं। शहर का क्या हाल है? क्या लोग अपने कामों पर जा रहे हैं? बुलेवार्ड पे लोग चल रहे हैं क्या? उसका जरा एक जायजा दे दें।
अमृतपाल, पूरी तरह से यहाँ पर सड़कों पर लोग आ जा रहे हैं, दुकानें खुली हैं, ऑफिसेज खुले हैं। जो स्कूल है उनके चूंकि विंटर हॉलीडेज है, स्कूल इसलिए बंद है, विंटर हॉलीडेज के लिए बंद है। बाकी हर तरह से आम जनजीवन पूरी तरह से सामान्य है। इसके पहले भी हम जब कश्मीर आए थे और उसके बाद जो स्थितियां थी उनमें काफी ज्यादा बदलाव है, और बदलाव का स्तर यह है कि आप पूरी तरह से वही पुराना कश्मीर देख सकते हैं जो यहाँ पर है। जो अपना काम करने का जो तरीका है उसी तरीके से काम हो रहा है। जो गुलमर्ग का इलाका है वहां पर टूरिस्ट काफी संख्या में आए हुए हैं। तो जो जनजीवन है वो कतई प्रभावित नहीं है, जनजीवन पूरी तरह से ठीक है। हाँ, लेकिन जो डेलीगेशन आया था उनको सिक्योरिटी देने के लिए प्रॉपर सिक्योरिटी थी, लेकिन ये भी मैं बताना चाहूंगा कि वो जो डेलीगेशन था पूरा जनजीवन चल रहा था, सड़कों पर लोग आ जा रहे थे और उनके बीच में ही डेलीगेशन गया था। तो आप समझ सकते हैं कि किस तरह से यहाँ पर हालात है, किस तरह से यहाँ पर शांति है और व्यवस्था है।
चलें, बहुत शुक्रिया आपका हमारे साथ जुड़ने के लिए। आप खूबसूरती का लुत्फ लें, ख्याल भी रखें, ठंड काफ़ी है। थैंक यू अजय विक्रम सिंह। The Army Chief General Manoj Mukund Narwane visited Siachen, the base camp of the world's highest battlefield today. This is his maiden visit to any forward post after taking charge as India's 28th Army Chief. General Narawane laid a wreath at the Siachen War Memorial to pay homage to the martyrs. He also interacted with local army officials. With temperatures touching as low as -50 degrees Celsius, survival itself is a battle in Siachen. Army is guarding the country's boundaries in very hostile environments, braving the enemy as well as the affront of nature.
It is absolutely essential for us to remain ever vigilant and in control of these strategic heights, because they form the key to the rest of the defenses of Ladakh and the rest of J&K. We are aware that everyone operating here is in very tough conditions, inhospitable terrain and weather, and we are doing our best to make sure that whatever is required for by the troops on the ground is made available to them, be it clothing or better rations or better facilities to make their life comfortable.
US President Donald Trump late last night issued a statement on the Iran situation, what the White House termed as address to the nation. The world listened with small sense of relief to the US President's televised address from the White House Grand Foyer, in which he talked about peace and indicated de-escalation of tensions in the Middle East. In West Asia. He said that no Americans were harmed in the attack by Iran on US bases in Iraq, asserting that Iran will never be allowed to become a nuclear power and that it should stop support to terror.
In an address to the nation from the White House Grand Foyer, President Donald Trump on Wednesday said that no Americans were harmed in the attack by Iran on US bases in Iraq. President Trump has asserted that Iran will never be allowed to become a nuclear power.
As long as I'm President of the United States, Iran will never be allowed to have a nuclear weapon. I'm pleased to inform you the American people should be extremely grateful and happy. No Americans were harmed in last night's attack by the Iranian regime. We suffered no casualties. All of our soldiers are safe, and only minimal damage was sustained at our military bases.
The US president called General Soleimani a ruthless terrorist and asked Iran to abstain from terrorism. The US president asserted that his country is making many hypersonic missiles and it has great military power, which the United States does not want to use.
U.S. armed forces are stronger than ever before. Our missiles are big, powerful, accurate, lethal, and fast. Under construction are many hypersonic missiles. The fact that we have this great military and equipment, however, does not mean we have to use it. We do not want to use it. American strength, both military and economic, is the best deterrent.
Donald Trump further vowed to impose more sanctions on Iran. In a direct message to the Iranian leaders and the people, President Trump said the United States is ready to embrace peace with all who seek it.
As we continue to evaluate options in response to Iranian aggression, the United States will immediately impose additional punishing economic sanctions on the Iranian regime. These powerful sanctions will remain until Iran changes its behavior. Iran can be a great country. Peace and stability cannot prevail in the Middle East as long as Iran continues to foment violence, unrest, hatred, and war.
The US president urged world powers, including Russia and China, to abandon the 2015 nuclear accord with Iran and work towards a new agreement. Meanwhile, Trump said that Iran must abandon its nuclear ambitions and end its support for terrorism. Bureau Report, DD News.
And two rockets crashed late last night into the Iraqi capital Baghdad's green zone, the high-security enclave where foreign embassies, including the U.S. mission, are based. The attack came nearly 24 hours after Tehran launched ballistic missiles at Iraqi bases housing American and other coalition forces in retaliation of the U.S. killing top Iranian General Qasem Soleimani. Just before midnight, two loud blasts were heard in Baghdad. They were followed by wailing security sirens of the green zone, but nobody so far has claimed responsibility for these rocket attacks. And for more on that story, I'm joined by Neeraj Srivastava, India's former ambassador to the United States of America. Ambassador Srivastava, thank you for joining us in the studio. What do you make of President Trump's statement? Because it was typically American dangling the carrot, but wielding the stick. He used very, very strong words, but towards the end, he did extend an olive branch to them, saying, "Take it now. It's your time to take it now."
It was a conciliatory statement, but also included threats, as we know. It also included threats that if Iran tried to make nuclear weapons, then the United States will take military action against it, and also accused Iran of terrorism and so on and so forth. Now, to my mind, the reason for this is primarily internal. And there are two major reasons. One is that Mr. Trump is facing the presidential elections this year, later this year.
Right.
And he knows that another war in the Middle East or in West Asia would not be popular amongst the people of the United States. So, he does not want to hurt his re-election chances by starting another war. The second reason is the attitude of the US Congress, especially the US House of Representatives,
Right.
which is controlled by the Democrats.
Right.
And the Democrats have recently, as you know, they have recently adopted a resolution impeaching President Trump also. And they say, and it is true, that according to the US Constitution, the US President cannot start a war before authorization from the Congress. So, they have made it clear, the US Congress has made it clear that that Trump should not proceed to start another war without first taking the approval of the US Congress.
In fact, Nancy Pelosi, the Speaker of the House, said yesterday that on Thursday, measures to limit President Trump's military actions in Iran would be there. In fact, they had a vote on war parameters in the House, which they got through with a comfortable majority. So, basically, the House rallying around Nancy Pelosi and the Democrats, saying this is a president who might take an adventurous but foolish action by launching a war in Iran. So, the House must act now to limit it to him. Of course, there is an angle of domestic politics because it's election season, but the House, but there is no unanimity really in amongst the US lawmakers on how to deal with Iran or how far to go really.
Well, you know, I mean, there are many strong lobbies in the United States, which would welcome a US attack, full blown US attack on Iran. But when you look at the current political climate in the United States, several polls amongst the American public have indicated that they don't want, the people of the United States really don't want another war in the Middle East. That is one thing. But as you said correctly, that the US House of Representatives has made it very clear that it would not approve, or it would not support.
Play ball with President Trump on,
without a clear authorization from the House of Representatives. So Trump cannot ignore that. And so primarily this, and I do think, and there is the view of many experts, that his re-election chances will be seriously hurt if he started another war, which is very unpopular amongst the
but
US
will
population.
the killing of General Soleimani scale up his chances of winning a re-election?
We are still many months away from November. And as they say, in politics a week is a long time. So at this stage, just now, to predict how it will affect his re-election chances would be a bit premature.
All right. But is the world, Ambassador Srivastava, relieved that now both Iran and the US have stepped back from the brink of a conflict?
Of course, the world is very relieved, and I think India is particularly relieved because we have close to 8 million people working in the
West
Gulf
Asia.
region. We are no doubt relieved. But I must say that in my assessment, this matter is not yet over.
Okay.
And that what has happened is that a major crisis which was building up may have been diffused, but for the time being.
Okay.
And we will have to wait and see how long this truce lasts, because I don't think the Iranians are satisfied with the retaliation for General Soleimani's death. I think given his stature in Iran, I think the Iranian public and also the Iranian Revolutionary Guards, I think they would not be satisfied with
Oh, you saying they would want a stronger retribution? Because Iran claims, Ambassador, that they've killed around close to about 80 people in these airstrikes on the US military bases in Erbil and Baghdad. So, but you saying in the public perception in Iran, this is not retribution enough. Are you saying that?
What I am saying is that at least I have not seen clear evidence of 80 people being killed, first of all, and secondly, the nationality of those people who were killed. Because we have to.
Iran claims 80, which includes Americans, though President Trump said, well, no casualty, none of our soldiers were hit, only minimal damage caused, and that too only to infrastructure. We were pretty successful in averting that. Our early warning systems worked very well, helped. But what I am trying to ask you is that now that both countries have addressed their domestic constituencies, had the American soldiers been hit, it could have scaled down the approval ratings of President Trump within his domestic constituency, given the election year, given the emotions running high, the sort of funeral that we saw for General Soleimani in Iran, for the Iranian leadership. So is this a retribution enough? Is it pause for the time being, or the Iranian public would want a stronger retribution, and the Iranian leadership could come under pressure both from the IRGC and the Iranian public popular mood to react in a more stronger manner, so to speak?
The answer to this question hinges on basically two things. How many people were killed by the Iranian missiles?
Okay.
and what was the nationality of those peoples. Now, Iranian, you said that Iranians have claimed that some Americans were also killed. On the other hand, Mr. Trump is saying that no American was killed.
He said
So-
no American or Iraqis were killed. That's what he said.
So, who was killed? In that case, you know, the question arises as to who were these 80 people who were killed. Now, if the Iranian public believes that a large number of Americans were indeed killed by these missile strikes, then they may be pacified. But if the Iranian public, you know, if it has access to, for example, global channels of news, and if it feels that sufficient retribution was not meted out, then you know,
The pressure could build.
then
on
pressure
the,
could
yeah.
build, and
Okay.
also so you know, we have to wait and see. And the bottom line is that I don't think this matter is completely over
The
as yet.
chapter is completely
Yes,
over.
yes.
Ambassador Srivastava, we'll have to leave it at this because of paucity of time. Many thanks for being on the show and sharing
Thank
your
you. Thank
insights
you.
with us.
Thank you.
And Prime Minister Narendra Modi today interacted with leading economists and entrepreneurs from different fields on economic growth at the Niti Aayog in New Delhi. Those present included Union Ministers Amit Shah, Nitin Gadkari, Narendra Tomar and Piyush Goyal. Niti Aayog Vice Chairman Rajiv Kumar and members V.K. Saraswat, Ramesh Chand and V.K. Paul, PMC Economic Advisory Council Chairman Vivek Debroy, Cabinet Secretary and other secretaries of the Ministry of Finance were also present on the occasion. Private sector participation was from fields like venture capital funding, manufacturing, travel and tourism, apparel, FMCG, real estate, data and financial analytics, besides primary sectors like agriculture and healthcare. And for more on that story, I'm joined by my colleague Mark Lane, who's reporting from outside the Niti Aayog. Mark, do you now have a sense of what really transpired there? We know it was to get a sense of the economy, to get you know, various sections of the government, the Niti Aayog, the private sector, and see how a boost can be given to the economy. What really transpired and what was agreed upon in concrete. Do you give us a sense of that?
Well, Amrit, it was a brainstorming session, and you know what, people from different parts of the industry were given about 3 or 4 minutes to speak. 3 minutes, they were putting their points across as succinctly as possible. The Prime Minister made opening comments, and then he concluded by making concluding comments. And he thanked them all for their suggestions. Each one spoke specifically about the industry that they represented. There were people who were not only academicians. The Prime Minister, in his remarks, I was able to listen to a few what things the Prime Minister said. And he, in his remarks, thanked all the people who were present there for their contribution of the day, for the suggestions that they made, specifically for their particular industries. Now, the idea was that, you know, the Prime Minister said that the country is full of opportunity. India is a land of opportunity, and this target of a $5 trillion economy is a target that has been set. And if the Prime Minister had not set this target, you know, people would not have probably talked about it. But now it has become a subject of discussion. It is a subject that people are discussing and putting ideas, bringing out ideas to try and reach there. And it sort of sets people, you know, puts people on the track, getting to reach that particular target. The Prime Minister was, you know, talked about certain areas, especially in agriculture, where he felt that there need to be new ideas. Because the ideas that are coming out in agriculture, he was happy that there were a number of young entrepreneurs there. He realized that there's not enough investment from the corporate sector in agriculture. He was hoping that there would be a lot more, you know, corporate-driven investment into agriculture. The Prime Minister was saying that the Indian economy is an economy that is now large enough to absorb any kind of shocks. It's a shock-absorbing economy in a sense, and economies that can absorb shocks also have that sort of a springboard in a sense to rise up higher and rebound and grow fast. So that is, of course, you know, metaphorically, but the point is that the economy is in a position to do that. He talked about jobs being the biggest priority. He asked the young industrialists, the young entrepreneurs to be bold in their initiatives, to invest properly. And he said that this is a forum for discussion. It's not a forum, not a place where politics is played, where, people are looking to score points over one another. It was an open debate. People could raise their concerns, and it's only when your concerns are raised that you can actually find solutions. So it was a free and frank discussion, and I did interact with a few of the delegates who were inside, and they told me that they were very happy with the presentations, that the points that the Prime Minister made, as well as the presentations made by different sectors of the industry. Each of them went back feeling a lot more enlightened, and they also feel that perhaps they look forward to the budget. They were not giving specific suggestions for the budget, but they look forward to it in the hope that that the economy can get a certain amount of boost. Amrit.
All right, Mark, we'll have to leave it there. We'll have to see what comes out of it. But as you said, that the Prime Minister touched upon various aspects like economy growing, the job creation aspect. He talked about agriculture, and also did the other entrepreneurs and the private sector representatives who were there raise their issues. Many thanks to Mark for the moment for joining us. And the government the cabinet has given a big boost for infrastructure for the Northeast. The cabinet has approved the capital grant as viability gap funding for Indradhanush Gas Grid Limited for setting up the Northeast natural gas pipeline grid. This is a project of the Indradhanush gas grid. Let's take a look at this. The cabinet, as I said, has approved the capital grant as viability gap funding to the Indradhanush gas grid limited for setting up the Northeast natural gas pipeline. It is a capital fund inflow. The Northeast gas grid project of Indradhanush gas grid with a viability gap funding or a capital grant, which is basically a capital grant. The capital grant is at 60% of the estimated cost, which is 9,265 crore rupees for this particular pipeline. The quantum of the funding would be capped at 60% of the estimated project cost. That means the government for the moment will put in funds to about 60% of this cost. It would not be linked with the upward cost variation, capital cost variation. That means deadlines will have to be followed because that money wouldn't come from the public expenditure. Total length of the pipeline is 1,656 kilometers. This pipeline connects 8 states plans to connect 8 states of the northeastern region, and these states will benefit. As we know, these states are the states of Arunachal Pradesh, Assam, Manipur, Meghalaya, Mizoram, Nagaland, including Sikkim and Tripura. So the 7 sisters plus the 8th sister of Sikkim, which is a part of the northeastern region. The capital grant will provide natural gas supplies to various types of consumers. That's domestic consumers, industrial consumers. The pipeline grid would ensure reliability and uninterrupted natural gas supplies to consumers. The availability of the natural gas across the region is expected to boost industrial growth as well, because once this comes in, there are various aspects of, because setting up of it, the whole project of it, leading to job employment, to industrial growth in the sector. Let's take a look at the socio-economic benefits that this project will entail, the socio-economic and environmental. The development of the industrial climate in, of course, these states, the northeastern states, will be boosted, because if such a big project does come in there, it boosts that. Of course, it will have environmental benefits, which will lead to reduction in usage of kerosene and wood once people have access to natural gas, CNG for domestic use, LPG, PNG. So PNG basically, it will lead to cutting down on people using kerosene or wood, and that will help in environment. It will boost exploration and production activities and connect the regional gas sources with the pipeline network for early monetization of the natural resources in the region. It will also ensure an uninterrupted supply of LPG that will bring energy security to the areas. So that is a big decision of the Cabinet. The Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs did announce that this measure yesterday, and to talk more about that, I have with me Deepak Devan. Deepak Devan is the executive editor of the Northeast Sun magazine. Mr. Devan, many thanks for being on the show and sharing with us. My first question to you, what do you see the first benefit entailing to the Northeast from this project? We did talk about the environmental benefits, the economic benefits, energy security, but what is the biggest one thing, if you were to point out, would lead directly to benefiting the people?
Well, see, the people of Northeast are feeling very happy the moment they heard this announcement yesterday. I also received a lot of query calls from some of my friends. They wanted to know details, when will it start and when will it finish, because people are waiting for it to happen. See, the thing is, this will give tremendous boost to the development of industries in the region. Amrit, as you know, Northeast region is sitting at the gate of Southeast Asia, and we are going to open trilateral highway very soon, which will connect Northeast from Guwahati via Nagaland, then via Manipur, and you can go by road to
Myanmar,
right up to Thailand. Later it will be connected to Laos, Cambodia, and the entire Southeast Asia is available to you. And this by this gas reaching the region, you will see industry developing, flourishing like the growth you have never seen before there. Because see, the thing is, Southeast Asia has the biggest market for bamboo products, and Northeast is the hub of bamboo, and we have a bamboo mission working in the Northeast region.
Right.
And once you have the product, you have the market available next door to you. So this is one thing. And other thing is, the Northeast region, barring Assam, other states are all hilly states. Whenever there is a flood or landslide, the gas supply, cylinder supply used to get affected.
Absolutely.
Now this will give uninterrupted domestic connections, and also CNG for the automobiles. See, Guwahati today is one of the polluted cities like Delhi used to be. So once CNG is available in the local outlets, naturally the city will also breathe clean air. And the same happens to the other towns wherever the pipeline passes through. Like pipeline to go to Mizoram has to pass through Barak Valley, means the Silchar town. So Silchar town is also being included in this. And other thing is, there is a plan to have the local bottling plants for cylinders. Instead of from the plains area of Assam, trucks carrying cylinders to Nagaland or some other states or the different towns. So wherever the pipeline is going, it will ensure that there is a local bottling plant comes up for local consumption. Wherever the pipeline cannot reach the domestic houses, in the hills is very difficult. It is different from the cities. You may not be able to provide pipeline which connects the colony, homes, and so in that case people will have to continue to use the cylinders, and for that you have to have a local bottling plants in every city. So it's like a very good gift, a good gesture from center for the people of Northeast.
All right. So you're saying basically it will provide energy security, that's what you're hoping. But it is also a cleaner and a greener fuel. So in that sense, it will entail a lot of environmental benefits, not just for the region, but generally once you move towards a cleaner and a greener fuel, that becomes a way of life and affects environment and thereby standard of living of people.
Yeah, well, see, the fact remains that Northeast contributes to our green cover a lot. And the situation sometimes forces people to use the wood, because in the absence of kerosene or gas, so they totally depend on the wood,
which is easily available.
So I think that it will save the environment. Plus, it is more healthy to cook on the gas than use the kerosene. So it also gives them another benefit of this, that you have a healthy food which is not cooked on kerosene, is cooked on gas, and and also it raises your standard of living.
Okay.
You know.
All right. The other one question which I would want you to answer very succinctly and quickly, Deepak Diwan, do you see this providing the open access to the basic gas infrastructure, which increases the wider network, creates more jobs, employment for people with this project?
Yes, likely. I mean, it is going to happen. See, the moment the way I mentioned to you, the opening of bottling plants, in how many cities the local bottling will come, and you know the people will get jobs in those plants. Also, the industries, lot of new industries will come, and with the trilateral highway coming, connecting the Southeast Asia, the transport sector will get a major boost also. Storage. You know, all that I mean, you will see one thing connected to another.
Okay. So it will create a ripple effect as far as economics goes. Deepak Diwan, that's all the time we have for. Many thanks for joining us and giving us a perspective on that story. Well, moving on to the other big story, fugitive gangster Jas Lakdawala, wanted in connection with several cases of extortion, attempt to kill and rioting, has been arrested by the Mumbai police. Lakdawala was apprehended by Mumbai police's crime branch, anti-extortion cell team. He was arrested from Patna. He once worked for the underworld Don Dawood Ibrahim before forming his own gang. In May 2004, he was arrested by the Canadian police in Ottawa. A few years back, he was believed to be somewhere in North America, although he frequently changed his locations to Southeast Asia as well. A red corner notice had been earlier issued against him.
एजाज लकड़ावाला नाम का गैंगस्टर जो भारत के बाहर से एक्सटॉर्शन कॉल्स देके बम्बई में काफ़ी लोगों को धमकाता था, उसे मुंबई सिटी क्राइम ब्रांच ने कल पटना में अरेस्ट किया। आज उसे कोर्ट के सन्मुख पेश किया गया और 21 जनवरी तक का पुलिस कस्टडी रिमांड इसी केस में प्राप्त किया गया है।
And for more on that, I am joined by my colleague Yogesh Sheetal, who joins me from Mumbai. Yogesh, a big catch for the Mumbai police, somebody who had been elusive for so many years, more than 25 cases of extortion, rioting, indulging in various gangster activities in Mumbai. So that will lead to a closure of those cases?
See, two things are very important at this point in time, as you have also rightly mentioned, particularly Mumbai. It's not particularly Mumbai, but 25 cases are lost in Mumbai and 2 cases are lost in different pockets of Maharashtra. There are 27 cases as of now. And as far as Mumbai police is concerned, Sanjay Barwe, who is the CP of Mumbai, he also said that he will be sending letters to all the states of India to know that are there any cases lost against him. So there are expectations that there are the number of cases may be increased in the time to come. The other thing, as far as arrest is concerned, let me also tell you the Joint CP Crime has made it very clear in the press conference that in last 6 months the Mumbai police were running overtime because when his daughter was arrested from the airport when in a different case, the case was basically of a fake passport. So when his daughter was arrested, it was a big lead, and on the line Mumbai police got number of information, sensitive information, and also through sources the arrest has been made. Now what we are expecting in the time to come. See, recently what we had seen in Mumbai, especially anti-extortion cell has been very active. Not only recently we had seen that how those close relatives were arrested in Mumbai, but also there are more revelations like when Iqbal Mirchi, we have seen the connection between Iqbal Mirchi and Iqbal Mirchi property with some top leaders of Maharashtra. So there are some revelations that we are expecting at this point in time, and by the time that accused is in the police custody by 21st of January, it seems that there may be some revelations, and I think after police custody there would be some revelations about if there is any high profile cases that are supposed to be unveiled after the interrogation process completes, or there are another accused which are likely to be arrested after the revelations that we had seen particularly in this arrest. So I think there are some more revelations which are coming to front in the time to come. Yes.
All right, Yogesh, to keep track of the story, we'll keep coming back to you. We'll have to leave it there. Many thanks for joining us for the moment. And Aam Aadmi Party chief and Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal today held a press conference. The Kejriwal said that the CAG had lauded the honesty of Delhi government in its report.
सीएजी ने दिल्ली सरकार का ऑडिट करने के बाद कहा है कि दिल्ली सरकार पूरे देश की अकेली सरकार है जो नफे में चल रही है और दिल्ली सरकार पिछले 5 साल से नफे में चल रही है और हमारे से पहले दिल्ली सरकार हमेशा घाटे में चलती थी.
A day after snowfall, several parts of Himachal Pradesh, including its capital Shimla, woke up to a sunny morning today, but the meteorological department issued a fresh orange warning for heavy rain snowfall in the state on the 12th of January. Most of the middle and high hills of the state, including Simla, Kufri, Manali, Dalhousie and Kalpa, shivered at below freezing point. 879 roads in the state were blocked after widespread snowfall on Wednesday, and efforts are on to clear the paths. Simla police has issued an advisory to the public to remain cautious while driving and even moving on foot, as roads might be slippery even after clearing of the snow. The Met Center forecast heavy rain, snowfall in the middle and high hills of the state from January 11th to 14th. However, it has issued an orange warning for Sunday. The minimum temperature in the national capital dropped on Thursday morning and is expected to dip further over the weekend due to icy winds coming in from the hills. The India Meteorological Department said the city recorded a minimum of 8.4 degrees Celsius, 4 notches less than that recorded on Wednesday. A sunny day is expected ahead and the maximum is likely to hover around 15 degrees Celsius. Winds gusting up to 18 kilometers per hour and rains improved the air quality and dispersed fog in the morning. Another spell of rains is expected in Delhi NCR around 13th and 14th of this month due to a fresh western disturbance. And in Midday Time Prime, it's time for news and updates from the world of business. My colleague Nancy Kohli joins us with more from the business world. Nancy, give us a sense of what is happening in the world of business. All right, Nancy joins us. Nancy, give us a sense of what is happening in the world of business.
First, to look at the markets, Amrit, well, domestic equity indices have witnessed a gap up started today's session as the US and Iran have backed away from the brink of the conflict in the Middle East and thus boosting investor sentiment back home. Now, most of the Asian markets were also trading in the green, and softening crude oil prices also added to the positive mood on the Wall Street as India relies heavily on the oil imports. Now, sometime back, in fact, the BSE benchmark Sensex was up 625 points at 41,443 and the NSE Nifty gained 180 points. And talking about, in fact, the gold prices, they are also holding on to previous levels now as the US-Iran have pointed towards avoiding further conflict. In the global market, the gold price remains steady and retreated from the 7-year highs to $1,551 per ounce. And just a day before, the prices had gone up to as much as $1,601. And in fact, talking about, we'll in fact be getting you as to how really the US stocks were performing after that statement that came in by the US President Donald Trump last night India time. But that's all the time we have for in this segment. It's back to you, Amrit, for the rest of the news.
Well, thank you, Nancy, for that. And now it's time to have a look at what's making news across the globe. And let's talk about Nepal first. Nepal reported 122 Chinese nationals previously arrested on charges of cybercrime. Nepalese officials say that they had violated visa rules as they had illegally overstayed their tourist visas to Nepal. On December 24th last year, the Chinese Foreign Ministry confirmed that 122 of its citizens had been detained in Nepal, suspected of engaging in cross-border cyber fraud. According to Nepalese officials, the Chinese embassy knew about the arrests and had supported the detentions and the deportation. Chinese nationals are regularly detained in Asian countries on suspicion of involvement in various illegal activities, often involving fraud back in China. In a move which came as a surprise, the royal couple, Duke and Duchess of Sussex, Prince Harry and Meghan decided to step down from their royal position. In a statement given on social media platform Instagram, Prince Harry said that he and Meghan are stepping back from their roles as senior members of Britain's royal family and work to become financially independent. He further added that they are planning to balance their time between the United Kingdom and North America and will also continue to honor their duty to the Queen. The couple, which got married in May 2018, has been planning to step back from public life ever since their return this month from a 6-week holiday in Canada. And now it's time for us to take a look at stories from the world of sports. Tapash, tell us what is the sense that you're getting from the world of sports?
Yes, and we will start with the Sports Prime with the Khelo India Youth Games, and volunteers who are the backbone of any event, and no wonder the Khelo India Youth Games have roped them in to make the games a huge success. Ahead of the games, an orientation program of the volunteers were organized in Guwahati. More than 1,200 volunteers will help and assist athletes during the Khelo India Youth Games.
Ahead of the Khelo India Youth Games, an orientation program of the volunteers was organized at Horukhojai Sports Complex in Guwahati on Wednesday. The event was chaired by Assam Chief Minister Sarbananda Sonowal, and he told volunteers to do their duty with honesty to make Khelo India a successful event. The volunteers will play a key role in ensuring that the games are conducted in a smooth manner. Each one of them have been assigned a role and were briefed about their responsibilities.
Volunteer will assess everywhere because players are coming from outside, so they don't have idea about Guwahati, they don't have idea about Assam. Each and every knowledge they will get from volunteers. All sort of assistance they will get from volunteers. Each and every these volunteers will be friend of all the players. These volunteers will be friend of all the management committee. These volunteers will be friend of all those who are coming from outside for any of the activity, even friends from media. Volunteers will help them also.
More than 1,200 volunteers will help and assist athletes during the Khelo India Youth Games. Volunteers looked upbeat as they believe that sports provides a challenging and inspiring environment to develop important values.
Big honor for me to service my state, and it's a very good experience to be the volunteer of such a big event happening in our state, and I'm very thankful for my seniors who have given me the opportunity for servicing my state.
यहाँ के मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगा सर। यहाँ पर विभिन्न प्रदेशों से आए हुए लड़का या लड़की स्पोर्ट्स से मिलने का मौका मिल रहा है और वॉलंटियर यहाँ पर करके मुझे बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है सर।
खेलो इंडिया इस बार आसाम में हो रहा है और मतलब वॉलंटियरिंग करने के लिए मतलब हमको अपॉर्चुनिटी मिला है। मैं बहुत खुश हूँ और कब स्टार्ट होगा वही मतलब इंतज़ार है और कैसा गेम होगा सुपर एक्साइटेड है उसके लिए। प्लान तो बहुत कुछ है, खेलो इंडिया के लिए बहुत सारा प्रिपरेशन किया है और अलग अलग देश से अलग अलग पार्टिसिपेंट्स आ रहे हैं, तो उन लोगों के लिए उन लोगों के साथ काम करके उन लोगों का एक्सपीरियंस लेकर बहुत अच्छा भी लग रहा है।
गेम तो बहुत अच्छा है, बहुत एक्साइटेड भी हूँ, बहुत गेम देखने के लिए पहली बार आया हूँ खेलो इंडिया में, तो बहुत एक्साइटेड हूँ।
Volunteers are the face of a sporting event. People are motivated to volunteer for all sorts of reasons. For most, it is a leisure choice. Many people volunteer because they find it enjoyable. Volunteering is a selfless job, and it can give people the chance to develop in various areas of life.
More than 1,200 volunteers are there in Khelo India Youth Games. They will assist athletes and dignitaries here in Khelo India Youth Games. They will act as a friend, philosopher and guide to these athletes. It's a selfless job, but it also provides opportunity to these volunteers. With camera person Sandeep, this is Narayan Singh reporting for DD News, Guwahati.
The details from the Khelo India, which will start from tomorrow, and so tune into Doordarshan for all the updates. Meanwhile, moving on to badminton news, Saina Nehwal and reigning world champion PV Sindhu produced dominating performances to progress to the women's singles quarterfinal of the Malaysia Masters tournament on Thursday. Six-seeded Sindhu notched up a commanding 21-10, 21-15 victory over Japan's Aya Ohori in a pre-quarterfinal match lasting just 34 minutes. Meanwhile, Saina Nehwal stormed into the women's singles and quarterfinals with a straight game win over South Korea's An Si-young. The unseeded Indian, who had won the Indonesia Masters last year before going through a rough patch, dispatched Young 25-23, 21-12 after a thrilling 39-minute contest. Well, that's all in Sports Prime. For more news and updates, back to you, Amrit.
Taposh, for that. And now it's time for our next segment, which is Life Prime. As thoughts of Australia's fire crisis hung in the air, hundreds of hip-shaking and wig-wearing Elvis Presley impersonators and fans of late King of Rock and Roll began their annual pilgrimage to the Elvis Festival in Outback, Australia on Thursday. Revelers in the jumpsuits shook, rattled and rolled to several of the King's biggest hits at Sydney's Central Railway Terminal before catching the Elvis Express to the rural towns of Parkes, some 357 kilometers westward. Despite the setbacks, the festival will still go ahead, with many attendees saying the event is important now more than ever before to ensure the support of tourism in regional towns. Take a look at these visuals. That's it then in this midday prime for today. Thanks for watching.